The Super Media Bros podcast is a founding member of the OddPods Media Network.
Super Media Bros.
A lot of ninjas on the East Coast, apparently. Rock music, cocaine.
And hats. Like Michael Jackson Thriller hats.
I noticed that too. It was something straight out of Alien Private Eye.
Yeah, good reference. Everybody go check out that review. We were dead tired because it was 3 or 4 in the morning when we recorded that.
Right. Welcome to episode 268 of the Super Media Bros podcast. I'm Richie.
I'm Devin.
And this is Cult Cinema Showdown 104. Yes, you heard me right. 104.
God damn.
Yeah, but we're back with an episode of this because it's been a while since we've done one, and I think it's fucking high time we did it. And we have 2 really fun movies to talk about on this one. Fuck. And if you're new to the Cult Cinema Showdown series and you've never heard one before, typically what happens is we take 2 films that have some kind of, no pun intended, connection with one another, whether it is to do with the plot, the genre, the names, locations, directors, or it could literally be any loose piece that would put these together. And we'll make them go head to head and pick a winner. This week we have New York Ninja versus Miami Connection, and I don't think it could get any more obvious. They're both on the East Coast, ninjas, and both films have been restored by Vinegar Syndrome.
Great shit, by the way. They do such a good job with this.
They really do, and a lot of movies that we have either talked about before or will talk about in the future has been restored by Vinegar Syndrome. In fact, Champagne and Bullets was one of the ones that we did that was...
yes, it was.
And that was a fucking fun show, too.
It was, yeah.
Go check that shit out. It was Champagne and Bullets versus Lost Faith, which is also...
Oh, God, I forgot that one.
Lost,
Holy shit.
Lost Faith is actually also being distributed...
A fucking fever dream? Yeah, it was.
Yeah, but what I was getting at is that's also being distributed by Vinegar Syndrome through a partner label.
No shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, let me ask you this, because you were showing me your Blu-ray copies of Miami Connection and New York Ninja. Do all of the Vinegar Syndrome films come with such dope fucking box sets?
Yes. Most of them do. And if they don't, they always have limited edition like slip covers. But for most of the releases like this, where like the movie is extremely well known in the cult film underground scene, they go above and beyond. Like I got a Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 release from them, and it was
wow.
Yeah, and it's done up really fucking awesome like that. Hell, if you go watch the Cult Cinema Showcase video on our YouTube channel that I did on the Champagne and Bullets release, that's a pretty good example of what Vinegar Syndrome does with the art and the special features and all that shit, which both of these movies are kind of special in their own right.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we'll get into them separately, but like Miami Connection is one that when we get to it, we'll explain kind of its backstory and shit like that. But we're going to get into New York Ninja right now. We just finished watching it, and it was both of our first watch of this film.
Yeah.
So the story behind New York Ninja is fascinating as fuck.
Yeah, you were telling me about that shit, and I was like, wow, okay.
Yeah, so here's the rundown. The star director, writer of the original screenplay, John Liu, rest in peace, by the way, shot this movie in New York City on location, originally for the 21st Century Film Corporation, which was Menahem Golan's offshoot studio whenever he and his cousin like split from Canon. And it got shelved because it just never got finished. And Vinegar Syndrome wound up having the footage in their locker because they have a shitload of old films that they do, because Vinegar Syndrome like does film preservation and distribution of stuff like that. And they just had it. And Curtis Spieler wound up taking control of this project and was like, hey, I would love to restore this because the film had no sound it was just a lot of like, I think it was like 6 to 8 hours of footage. No sound.
Jesus.
Yeah, there was no sound. There was no storyboard. There was no script, nothing. So the dude had to like put it together just looking at it. And he had to write a script. And then they wound up getting people like Don the Dragon Wilson and Cynthia Rothrock, Leanna Quigley, and a bunch of other people to do voiceover work, trying to match the mouth movement as best they could, but while also paying homage to like the dubbing of like Hong Kong films that get, dubbed in America, where they would be talking, but the voices would go like not in sync with the mouth movement and shit. And it's really charming.
Yeah. You had said there's 6 to 8 hours of this. Then you were right. They probably do have enough footage to do the unofficial sequel.
Yeah, because it's not spoiling anything, but at the end of the movie, they did like the whole, how every movie is like, oh, the main character will return in such and such, kind of how they're doing with the Marvel films right now. But they did that with this one. So the movie it's weird to say like what the plot really is, because basically John Liu, who goes by the name John Liu in the movie, finds out at the front of the film that he's going to be a father, like his girlfriend or wife or what have you is pregnant or whatever. And she gets just fucking murked right at the start. And it has to do with a lot of women being kidnapped in the town. Like there's a whole ass like write up at the front of the, film where it's like, oh, this is 1984. This is New York City. And there's a ton of like women being kidnapped and all this other shit. And essentially what it is it's this guy trafficking women for a fucking high-paying client. And this dude's wife just happened to get fucking murked, and he just happens to be a fucking ninja.
No explanation, by the way.
No, and then that's where it kind of like ensues. That's where the calamity and the charm of this movie really comes from. Because it's a lot of scenes of trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. This dude is taking out random street gangs. And then the dub of all the people, like, it makes it fucking hilarious in a sense, too, because, like, the scene where he's mourning and he's like, oh, why? It's kind of Tommy Wiseau-ish in a way.
Yeah, I was noticing that. And it's funny because in the beginning of that scene, you're like, oh, no, this dude actually emotes. Of the B movies we have covered on this show, this is one of the better performances. There it is.
Yeah, I was just waiting for him to throw a fucking TV off the bridge or something.
Yeah, like, and still, he is one of the better actors that we have had on this show, but it's still something that I was like, you were so close. And then you had to overcook it.
He really was. And it was funny because he does look like Asian Tommy Wiseau, but also looks like Asian Jared Padalecki from Supernatural.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But what I had to laugh at was a lot of shit, but mostly was the fact that this man had so many times where he should have been fucking killed.
Bruh, you don't never lie. That dude had a gun pointed to his head. I don't know how many times, and they just didn't pull the trigger.
I know, and especially whenever he was fighting him, it was so slow, and they were just standing there letting the shit happen. I realize this is like movie speaking, where it's like, oh, in Hong Kong and like other like martial arts films, they would stand around and move around while the action was happening in the foreground, but they weren't even moving.
No, they were just vibing.
They're just standing there, just like, just kind of fucking waiting. And they just fall on the ground. That other dude right there. Oh, he got. Oh, there he goes too. Fuck. They were just watching their homies just get fucking yeeted all around by this guy.
Yeah, dude. They didn't give a fuck about their own people.
They really didn't, and it was funny as shit.
No, what was fucking funny was all of their goddamn attires.
Oh my God. Okay, like, so we haven't even talked about this movie at all on this show yet, but it reminded me a lot of fucking Deadbeat at Dawn, because it was almost like bring your own shit to work day every day. Like,
yeah,
they're like, oh, you're in this movie? Oh, man, put your villain costume together. This is your villain origin story. Put it together.
And there were certain points where you would see like tanning bed goggles or skiing glasses or whatever the fuck.
Those fucking clear masks that you know what I'm talking about?
Those I mildly understood. But once you got into the tanning bed glasses, I was like, this is a rib.
Dude,
the actor is fucking ribbing the director. You cannot convince me otherwise.
Right. There's no fucking way, man. You know what I fucking enjoy the most about this movie is that it was on location. Like, you know how most of the time that they're like, hey, we're going to shoot this in Los Angeles. It's not really Los Angeles. We're going to shoot this in New York City. It's not really like New York City.
You could tell this was.
Yes. And
it was aggressively New York.
Well, 1984 New York, too. It's like just in the prime of the city. Like the Twin Towers were there, which that's one of the opening shots. And everybody in the living room when we were watching this was just like, holy shit, that is like mind-blowingly like nostalgic completely.
And like I was only 5 when that happened.
Right.
Like I didn't understand.
Yeah.
I had no frame of reference, but everything else was so aggressively New York, like right down to out of fucking nowhere. There is a scene where they are dragging away a fucking woman.
Oh shit.
In the fucking like woods. And my man's just goes, I'm walking here. Like, you're not even in traffic. What the fuck?
The best part about that happening, though, was like when we first started this movie, Devin just looks at me and goes, it ain't a New York movie until somebody says, I'm walking here, get the fuck out of here, or forget about it, or whatever.
And then
and that happened.
20 minutes after I said that, somebody goes, forget about it.
Dreams do come true, everybody.
Dude, I was so fucking happy for this.
Even the fucking payphone sequence.
Dude!
That one guy was looking, he's like, what the fuck? What does he think I am? I think the way he fucking said it was really funny. I fucking
loved it. Which, by the way, shout out to the city of Chicago. Whenever I was up there, every fucking time I was at a crossroad, I would always go, hey, I'm walking here. Just to be a fucking douchebag.
Oh my fucking God.
Knowing damn good and well, if you have a Boston accent up there, they will fucking haunt you.
Oh, no. Let me ask you something about the plot of this movie.
Okay.
Did you know that John Liu was a local television station sound technician at first?
I didn't know.
Yeah, we didn't either. And I mean, I know they didn't know that, but I mean, they kind of pieced it together because randomly he supposedly is working for the TV crew that is like capturing footage of like, oh, this is the New York Ninja. And then he fucking Spider-Man's his way with like he comes back with a hero, like a sandwich or whatever. He comes back with a fucking hero and he's like standing next to the van. He's like, did I miss something? They're just looking at him and they're like, yeah, John, you missed everything. And he's like, oh, okay. Just real Peter Parker-y.
Yeah, and like, that was the thing is I pieced it together, but
it was like unsure, basically.
Yeah, I was like, so did I zone out? Or I don't think I zoned out. Or did they skip that footage where it explained his occupation? Like,
yeah, I'm pretty sure there was like what do you put together to explain that stuff if they didn't have any storyboards to go on? They just kind of had to be like, oh, I guess this guy does fucking TV work. Or
yeah, I guess so, because it's funny. Whenever you just said that, I didn't even piece together myself that he was hired. I thought it was just volunteer work.
Right?
Like, I had no idea.
And even down to the the shinobi get up that he was wearing, man. I will have something to say about the shinobi that the master ninja wears in Miami Connection, but I think it's fucking funny that he's basically daring anybody to fucking stab him or shoot him. He's like, look, I'm going to wear the most vividly bright shit.
Mm-hmm.
Did you notice something about this movie that was almost like Samurai Cop?
The music, the dubbing.
Where's the nighttime sequences?
Oh, fuck. There were a couple of moments where I thought that it would have benefited, but I didn't ever think, damn, there were no nighttime sequences. Like
the closest they get is going in the subway.
Yeah.
And they really did go out of their way to make sure it's hey, the dangers of this in the 80s, because that was a big deal in the 80s. It was really dangerous to take the subways. And I love that they were not afraid to show the real gritty and raw nature of the city, where they would have the trash on the fucking trains and all the graffiti all over town and all that shit. Also, I was correct in assuming they had to hire a fucking lip reader to get the dialogue, because that's what they fucking did. It's wild. The fact that this movie exists is unbelievable.
Oh yeah, it's honestly a fucking miracle. Let's be real.
Yeah. I love the obvious nature of the effects, which let's talk about the plutonium killer, who is the main bad guy in this movie. There was I fucking swear to God, like, you know how we talk about budgets for some of this shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The fact that the special effects budget was $100, and most of that was used to make the melting face on the plutonium killer.
Which is also crazy because there's one scene, I don't want to spoil anything, but a bullet is like dug out of somebody. And it's like, if you already spent all of your money on the scene that I just saw, where'd this go? And then there's another face melting scene, and then another, and then another. And then I'm like, damn, did all of this for $100? Now I understand inflation and whatnot, but
sure,
I still feel like $100. They came out ahead. And also cost of living in New York. Like, I feel, well, no, actually the cost of living probably makes it even more impressive. So yeah, honestly, if I were to assume $100 in that time period, given the location, was probably comparable to $100 now.
Yeah.
That's fucking wild.
So like the action scenes were pretty fun. I mean, like, again, we want you guys to try to seek this film out and watch it. There's only so much that we can explain about it to do it justice, but Jesus Christ, there was a couple of fucking scenes in this movie that I died laughing at. Like, more than a couple, but like this one especially. When the fucking plutonium killer is hanging out during Halloween, which, by the way, let's talk about the one thing that happens before this does.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of shit that happens, and then it fades to black after the dude digs the fucking bullet out. Several weeks later appears on screen, and I sat there and I was like, yeah, several weeks later equals we have no footage to link what just happened to where we are now. There was like probably nothing that could have explained that transition.
No, nothing. No.
Because they go from recovering to, hey man, we're on the beach.
Yeah.
Like, we're on the fucking beach right now. But they go to Halloween, and the plutonium killer like puts this chick in a trance.
I was so confused.
The next shot is her dangling titties.
Hey, bro, I was
fucking huge fucking titties, bro.
I was not confused by that. I love that.
I wasn't confused by it either. I was just kind of laughing because I'm like, what's fucking going on in this limousine? I didn't realize he was fucking her at first.
Oh yeah, dude, he was hitting that shit from the back. He was saying,
but it was hilarious because I'm like, God, like, her tits were fucking, like, I'm really not trying to be like gross about it because it's not even like, they were just fucking large. Like, they were like the most the most natural large ass boobies I've ever fucking seen in my life. My God. But he fucking strangles her and then like puts his toxic Avenger looking goddamn mitts on her back and scalds her. And then she just dead. And then they fucking...
No, I mean, he choked her out.
No, dude. She fucking... The next morning, they're still in that bitch. And then he's about to get mugged by these fucking gang members. And his stupid little fucking... his little darts.
Yeah.
The one guy leans in there with that fucking misfit skull mask on. He's like, give me your fucking money. And he just looks at him and he's just like, she's asleep. Like the way he just held that shit out. He's like,
grody.
He's like, I don't give a fuck. Give me your fucking money. And then the dude he gets fucking murked too. It just, then he fucking leaves that chick's body in a trash can. I'm not talking like a big dumpster. I'm talking like one of those fucking Rubbermaid 16-gallon dumpsters you can buy at a Walmart. He just sat her in there with some carpet and just looking.
Put her where she belongs, man.
God damn it. But the fucking cops are just looking at her.
Bye-bye,
like,
sponsor.
Right. The fucking cops are just looking at her taking pictures, and the one just goes, huh. Like, that was just so bad.
And then the fucking woman in there, whenever she goes to leave, she just goes, just makes like a skank face at the dead body.
No, she's looking at her like she probably was looking at her and she's like, man, her tits ain't that great. Fucking like walked away.
Because you know the whole time they were, we didn't see it.
Yeah.
But you know them dudes was duding. Hey, bro, anybody got any lactose intolerant pills? Because got the milk.
The ending, though, that's one thing about this movie that is pretty fucking great. So the footage that they found, there was no definitive ending, so they had to make one up with the footage they had. And I'm just kind of giggling because there's a helicopter sequence, and the dude just kind of, it's obviously dubbed in, everything's dubbed in here, but it was just fucking funny because he just, what is that? A bomb? And then it's just a shot of the helicopter flying off. And then real quick, bro, you remember all the explosions and Who Killed Captain Alex?
Oh, fuck. Yeah.
Tell me I'm wrong. You're
not.
Yeah, that's...
God damn it.
That's pretty much what it looked like, but it was such a quick cutaway that it just cuts away and then it's just immediately to the next scene where it's, oh, well, there's no rubble, there's nothing. Like, there it is.
And the whole time you and I were just staring at each other like, what the fuck did we just see?
But it wasn't even like the what the fuck did we just see where we were like, this is bullshit. It was just like, this is dope as shit. It's amazing. Yeah.
I'll take it.
Oh, fuck yeah, I'll take it, dude. So as far as the end of the movie goes, the credits were fun. It felt like a Canon Films-esque kind of like thing where they had like New York Ninja, and it was by Bronx Style Bob. Like, the soundtrack on this just fucks, okay?
Oh, yeah. Both films that we were covering.
Voyager 3 was hired to make the original score for this movie, which they did a fantastic fucking job. And the movie ends with some text on the screen that says, due to a lack of, and this is the truth, due to a lack of records, we are unable to individually credit all of the cast and crew members from the original 1984 production. We would like to thank all of those involved in the original production for their hard work and dedication to the project. We hope this version of the film will make you proud.
Mm-hmm.
And look, I'll be honest. If I had shot a bunch of shit and I was like, man, I never got to finish it, and like a studio like this came along and at least made it releasable to the public, where it's like some of my work, although not completely my vision, was just my vision enough, and including like somebody else was like, hey, this is what we got from what you shot. That's kind of neat to me.
Oh yeah. And dude, let's be honest. Even if they completely misinterpreted the plot, I'm pretty sure the original writer, director, star would still be so happy with this.
The fact that he was like, I have to shelf this whole fucking thing, but 35 years later, somebody's going to come along and think enough of the footage that I shot, no sound, no nothing, that's like, dude, we can make something from this.
Yeah.
God damn, it was fun.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it.
So if you guys out there want to watch this, it's available to stream on anything that has the Showtime app. Like, if you can like rent on there, you can rent this movie. There should still be some copies at vinegarsyndrome.com. We'll leave links in the show notes below. Definitely check out New York Ninja. It's a movie that you're going to want to get friends together with. You're going to want to fucking just have like beer, pizza, weed, whatever the fuck you like to do. And just fucking watch. This is good shit.
I'm going to be hot off the eds next time I watch this.
Yeah. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to take a quick break, and then when we come back, we're going to talk about Miami Connection from 1987. You're listening to the Super Media Bros podcast on the OddPods Media Network. Don't go anywhere, like in a subway, or you might get a knife thrown at you. Spring has sprung, and our friends at Manscaped have the best tools for some spring cleaning. They've already helped you tidy up all the nooks and crannies of your body's basement, but this year Manscaped is going to help you get the perfect presentation on that beautiful face with the new Beard Hedger Pro Kit. Look, guys, you can make sure that you look your best this spring by using our code SUPER to get 20% off plus free shipping at manscaped.com. Look, it's time to tame your mane with the Beard Hedger Pro Kit. The sun's peeking back out, and that means you're going to have to show your face in the daylight again. So use the kit to make sure your scruff looks award-winning, whether you've got a glorious beard flow or some smooth, sleek cheeks. The kit comes with the Beard Hedger. It's a waterproof cordless trimmer with a rotary wheel that gives you 20 hair cutting length options and one guard, so there's no more messy drawers full of add-ons. It also comes with titanium-coated T-blades that are tough on hair but smooth on your face that leads to a single-stroke efficiency. The Beard Hedger is a very high-tech piece of art in a travel-sized package with a long-lasting battery, a universal charger, and a strong motor. The kit's also got liquid goods to make you feel good. You can't treat your beard like your pubes. That's why the kit has a special shampoo and conditioner specifically designed to moisturize, reduce ingrown hairs, and replenish your beard's natural oils, promoting beard health. The kit also has Manscaped's beard oil. The nutrient-infused oil relieves dryness on both the beard and the skin beneath while adding a little shimmer and shine to liven up your look. Don't forget to cap it off with the Beard Balm. It's a pomade that shapes, styles, and moisturizes, bringing the amazing scent of fresh eucalyptus, rosemary, and lavender essential oils. Lastly, the Beard Hedger Pro Beard Kit is also coming with 3 free gifts: a beard brush, a comb, and scissors to ensure that your beard is ready to impress. So get 20% off and free shipping with our code SUPER at manscaped.com. Again, that's 20% off plus free shipping with our code SUPER at manscaped.com. Focus on your face and use the Beard Hedger Pro Kit for the cleanest look in the game.
Once upon a time.
Boring.
It was the best of times. It was the worst.
You got that right.
What's your problem?
We want new stories.
Hi, it's Frankie.
And Garrett. And we host the Ever Trending Story, a weekly podcast where we bring to life a fictional story created by our own minds and some of the hottest, craziest trends from the internet.
Find us wherever you download podcasts, and be sure to join the fun on social media at EverTrendingPod.
All right, we're back. Devin, are you ready to talk about some stupid cocaine?
Yeah.
Somewhere in Miami. I love that that's how this movie opens. We're talking about Miami Connection, okay? It has credits, but it doesn't open with them.
No.
Just a wide shot of some bay, dock somewhere. Literally somewhere in Miami. Not like at the dock or downtown or whatever, just somewhere. That's what cracks me up about, just somewhere.
And then shortly thereafter, they got a whole pack of Michael Jackson Thrillers going up there and eating cocaine like it's some fucking fun dip.
That's what made me laugh, is it's packed in ramen. Like, did you notice it was packed in fucking...
Absolutely I did.
Died with that shit because normally they would pack cocaine under coffee grounds to throw the scent off of drug dogs or whatever the fuck. But dude, like, they were sitting there like, nah, man, put that chicken seasoning packet over that shit.
Damn it. Fucking goddamn it.
But this is what I was getting at earlier with the Shinobi get up or whatever. The main... Okay, so these people are there to do a drug trade or whatever. Well, these fucking ninjas on motorcycles roll in that bitch. It's nighttime, okay? Tell me why the main guy is in a white Shinobi thinking he's sneaking around and shit. Bro, that's... You're gonna see that shit, all right?
Well, and that's the thing, too, okay? You want to talk about, ninjas. What are some of the things that you think of when you think of ninjas?
Oh, when I think of ninjas, I think throwing stars like we saw in New York Ninja. That was pretty fucking accurate, right?
Yeah.
The katanas, that was pretty fucking accurate in New York Ninja. The shoes, like the shoe wear, that was pretty fucking accurate, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where are you going with this? I know you're going somewhere with this.
Do you not think, I don't know, stealth or, being possibly even sneaky, perhaps? Nothing? Or do you think of, looking outside late at night and seeing a whole fucking gang of people and hearing,
Yeah. Yeah, I was getting there. Yeah. This fucking ninja clan rolls up on this drug deal on fucking motorcycles, dude.
Which, I mean, it's a fucking dope idea.
Oh, yeah. Like that is doubly badass in a sense, but...
you know what it is, dude?
It's like fuck tradition at this point.
Well, you know what it is? If this were a comic book where there's no sound, it's all just strictly imagery.
Yeah.
You and I'd be like, dude, that's the fucking coolest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Right, because think about it this way. Like, ninjas can already fuck you up.
Yeah.
Them not giving a singular fuck about announcing their arrival with the intent to fuck you up, that's frightening, sir.
That is true. I didn't think of it that way, but you do have a point.
They just fucking surrounded them. And when I tell you the goddamn violence that ensues, in this scene and a few scenes in this fucking movie. There are arms chopped off. There is like blood squirt. Like, dude gets his face fucking slashed, and you're just like, fuck, man. Like, and this is just the first fucking 6 minutes.
I love that shit.
And then, like, immediately after, like, it reminded me of that sequence in Pink Floyd's The Wall movie where the Hammers, like, the Hammer gang come in and then they fucking wreck shop on people. And then there's just a shot of them, like, after they get done fucking shit up, it cuts from rambunctious violence to them just running away, like, ah, like, you know, like, celebratory. Point being is all this violence ensues, and then there's just a shot of ha 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 ha, and then just driving away. And then it cuts to their little miniature fucking dojo, and Yoshido is sitting there, and he's mad as fuck. He goes, "Where's the money? You forgot the most important thing, the money."
Yeah, and they're just like, you just see them, and they're just kind of like, oh shit, did you know about the money? I didn't know about the
bro.
fuck.
Fuck. Shit, I
God
told you it was that
damn it.
fucking briefcase.
I
On the
knew
side
I
of
was
the road.
forgetting something,
Son
bro.
of a bitch. Oh god.
God, I'm sorry, boss.
Yeah,
man.
dude,
We were just getting carried away being badasses. I didn't mean to.
Fuck, we are so fired.
Dude, I got fucking kids.
Yeah, I do too, man. I got 5 of them.
Really?
Yeah, I'd be fucking a lot.
Same baby mama?
No.
My man.
All right, thanks. All right, too sweet, me, bro. Too sweet.
Too sweet.
All right,
Too sweet. Too
man.
sweet.
Fucking Yoshido sounds like he went from being like Yakuza, not literally, but to like
More or less.
to like The Sopranos. You know what I'm saying? Because he was at first he's like, "Whoa, sing da," and then where's the money?
And then it's almost like choppy English at a certain point. He goes, the money, what it is?
What the fuck? Yeah, dude, he fucking so did. But here's the best part about it. They finally like come to a resolution where they're like, all right, this is going to be great. We're going to move a lot of coke in Orlando. And I'm like, I thought this was Miami.
Bro, my thing is, they didn't give a fuck. They were like, nah, we're going to say this in public. I don't care.
No, for real, dude. And then we cut to the introduction of Dragon Sound, who are the 5 main characters. Let's just be honest, dude. The fucking drummer is missing half the time.
Oh, let's be honest. Ain't a single motherfucker playing guitar. There are 5 fucking people playing guitar, and maybe one of them.
I was gonna get that out of the way. So, the lead singer of Dragon Sound, lead guitarist of Dragon Sound, actually sings, actually plays the guitar, wrote the 2 songs they play. It's on the soundtrack, which fucks, by the way.
Okay.
Everybody else, like YK Kim included. YK Kim is the most obvious with his fucking Grandmaster ass. He's the guy that put together the choreography and the ninja shit all in this fucking movie, all the taekwondo.
I just can't get over there's like 3 or 4 guitars on stage at once.
Well, no, it's 2 guitars, the bass player, and then the keyboardist, and then the drummer. Jeff is pretty good at faking playing bass because it's good to fake playing bass when your back is against the camera the whole fucking time.
Yeah.
YK Kim is just legitimately holding it up, even though he's got a strap that could just dangle there. He's holding it chest high, hands wide open, just strumming it with both hands, and then not at all sometimes. The drummer did a pretty decent job of mimicking. And then it's not hard to mimic keyboards if you don't pay attention to your hands on what like literal key the song is in.
Yeah.
But none of the instruments are plugged in.
Oh God, no.
Fucking none. They didn't even go to the trouble of being like, well, we could just like fake like we have wireless or whatever the fuck. They just didn't. And I'm sorry. We know and play music, so we see this shit.
Yeah, I mean,
but
I do find it hilarious that the bass player of all players was the one with his back turned, and it's like, turn around, you fucking bass player. Nobody cares.
Funny you say that. The bass player is like one of the focal characters in this goddamn shit.
I know. They had to give him something. They were like, dude, look, listen. We know everybody hates the bass player. Nobody cares about you. But we gonna make sure that we treat you right in every other scene. But here, you're like 5th fiddle.
Yeah. I think it's funny because they actually, like, if you look at Dragon Sound, they really did go out of their way to, like, culturally diversify that entire group. Because Angelo Gennati, the guy that wrote and sang in the shit, he's Italian-American. Jim is half black, half Korean, as he states later in the film. The drummer is Israeli-American. John, the bass player, is Irish-American. And YK Kim is Korean. So like that's one thing I thought was fucking cool is that YK Kim, director/writer, like, or co-director/writer, like, fucking, they went out of their way to really like beef up the diversity in this film, and it was fucking cool to see.
In a time period where that was not normal.
Right, and I will say this just to get it out of the way before I forget, fucking goddamn it, Tom, the singer, looks like goddamn John Oates. Yeah. Because I was sitting there waiting for him to be like, man, are you about to sing Maneater? Can you please sing me something from your fucking glorious catalog of yacht rock music? I fucking love you guys. Hall & Oates fucking owns, man. Oh, you're not Hall & Fuck. Now, they get mixed up in this entire cocaine deal just because the band that got fired from this club gets pissed off and wants to side with the people that are trying to distribute the cocaine. So much to the point that they actually show up to the club to fucking argue with the owner, who also happens to know fucking taekwondo. Everybody in this movie fucking knows how to fight.
My guy, why wouldn't he?
But I love it how they're just like, hey, well, you want to fight about it? Yeah, I want to fucking fight about it. Put up your fucking dukes. And he beats the piss out of like 4 guys in his fucking club. Get the fuck out of my club.
That's what we're here for.
And the other plot point is that Jeff, Jane's brother, the girlfriend, other singer of Dragon Sound, with John or whatever the fuck, bass player, and her have a thing, and they're in college. They're all in college together. And he's like, well, I haven't met your family yet. What about your family? And then she's like, oh yeah, telling all about it. She's like, oh yeah, my brother is into some shady shit and all this other stuff. He's like, oh, I want to meet him, blah, blah, blah. Not fucking 2 minutes later, they come hauling ass in cars into the parking lot like fucking bats out of hell. And in one of the funniest fucking scenes in this goddamn movie, this man is so offended. It's not even like, she doesn't even tell him that this is her boyfriend, right? He's like, who's this fucking guy? He's like, who the fuck is this guy? And she's like, oh, this is my friend. And he's just, a friend? He's so fucking mad. Just fucking a friend.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie. I know some dudes that are like that with their sister, and it's fucking hilarious.
Like what, dude? It's so trashy though, too. Like,
oh, dude, and it's the funniest thing to me. So you already know I egg that shit on. I'm like, hey, bro, you gonna let this dude fuck your sister like that?
A friend. that is the fucking vibe right there.
Yeah.
Dude is so mad. He's like, man, fuck you. And he fucking, like, fucking knocks him down.
Good.
Just punches him down. Like, that's a whole ass other plot issue, is that her brother is trying to, like, help that other band out and then, like, get the cocaine deal with the Ninja Clan, like, all through. Like, that's pretty much the whole gist of this film. And then the other subplot is that
old boy doesn't know his dad.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, that whole speech where he is acting his ass off.
Yeah.
Because for the longest time, the 4 of them were like, oh, yeah, well, we're all orphans and we grew up together and we're basically each other's family at this point. You know, I mean, like, fuck, Mark, YK Kim sleeps on fucking U-Haul blankets in his bedroom, for fuck's sake.
Good for him.
Yeah. But he finds that fucking letter and he starts talking about, like, oh, yeah, my dad left my mom. My mother was a Korean and my father was a Black American. And he's like giving his all, crying. And it's like, dude, you can emote, you can act, but Jesus Christ, this is fucking cringe. Because like later on, like as the plot develops further, like he actually does get in contact and his dad's supposed to fly the fuck in and all this stuff. But there's a lot of fight scenes that happen like between now and then, to the point that during filming, cops legitimately showed up during the filming of one of the sequences because they thought it was an actual gang turf war happening.
That's actually pretty fire. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and another thing about it is that YK Kim was so well liked by that city that they let him shoot this movie there without really any, like, the scene where the streets were just dead and it was like the 5 of them versus like 100 fucking guys.
Yeah.
That they were like, here, you can shoot between like now and then, and like there's nobody here, have at it.
That's pretty fucking dope.
But the fucked up part about that scene, you remember whenever old boy's like, oh yeah, we'll fucking have some beer, and he fucking pours on him. The fact that John's dorky ass is so far away from him in the car that he leans over so he can get the beer poured on him in the shot. It's just there. He just fucking leans into the pour, and I'm like, bro, are you fucking... Oh, my God.
I love that.
Oh, yeah. And then you got the restaurant dude, Uncle... what was his name? Uncle Song?
Yes.
Where he beats the shit out of those guys in his own parking lot. Because they were fucking with him. They didn't want to pay for their food, so he went and beat the shit out of them in the parking lot. I'm like, this dude fucking owns it.
Yeah, man. I'm like, dude, anytime that somebody is older and beats the fuck out of you mercilessly, just run.
Right? And then the one guy that got his ass kicked during the street fight, and then he shows up to the fight at the railroad junction. He's got a bandage on his head with the dried blood spot, and it looks like the Japanese flag. Mm-hmm. But that fucker, he shows up in later scenes, like days later in the movie, still sporting that same bandage, still sporting that same blood stain. I'm like, bro, that's infected. You know that shit's infected, right?
Don't matter.
My man's didn't even clean that shit.
Nah, he don't got to.
In fact, that was funny too whenever that guy, because I want to say he was like in the other band, he was asking them at that fucking club, he's like, I need you to eliminate that band so we can get our job back. Oh, yeah, and any money we make, it's y'all's. And I'm like, then why do you want your job back if you're not going to make anything?
Yeah, like, whenever I saw that, I was like, wait, maybe I'm just tired. Let me...
Oh, no.
Just let me rethink it later. And then I forgot to rethink it.
Because it didn't make sense.
Right. So, and I just went to bed that night. I didn't think anything of it after I forgot to reevaluate that scene. But... Now that you say it, I'm like, no, still doesn't make sense.
Not at all, dude. So like of some things that happen like towards the end of the film, and we'll wrap this half of it up because like you guys need to absolutely go watch this too.
Yes.
Going into the end of the movie, Tom gets kidnapped, their singer, and they're like, yeah, go ahead and fucking like draw a crowd this way, you bitch. And
what a douchebag.
They really fucking did that shit. And before that happens, there's this random fucking montage scene happening. Over the song Tough Guy. And all I thought about was this is probably them being like, okay, well, we have all this like extra film reel that we just need to waste and get rid of. Let's just have a fucking party and call up the local biker gangs in the city and just tape them. There's just random titties and a dude like full blown like mooning the camera, like breaking the fourth wall, showing his literal ass and the back of his ball sack to the camera. And I'm just like,
I respect it.
And I'm like, all right, cool. That is what it is, I guess. But they kidnap Tom, and they go to the place where they have him, and they beat the shit out of all these guys, and they rescue him. And Jeff, the brother, fucking gets knocked. Like John knocks him off of this really high like platform, and he falls back first on the rock below and dies. And when that happened, the very first time I watched this movie, I was like, oh man, his sister's going to be pissed. Even though like she was shitting all over her brother, that's still her brother, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And after that happens, we get the infamous, I found my father. Oh my God. That scene.
Cut that bullshit.
Dude, but look, no, I got to be honest. I can see where they were trying to go the heartfelt route here because it really did. And I'm being like legit here. It really did kind of exemplify the closeness of these five because without missing a single beat, like they were so excited for him that he found his dad and that his dad sent a letter that he was going to be flying in and shit. And immediately they were like, well, how much money do you have in savings? And one of them's like, I got $200. And then YK Kim's character was like, I got about $50. And John was like, I've got 60. Without any hesitation at all, they went and bought Jim a fucking tailor-made suit to meet his dad with. And I was like, that's fucking cool as shit.
Yeah,
like, that's fucking legit. Like, that's friendship. You know, that's brotherhood. And before they go to bring him to the airport where the final part of this movie happens, there wasn't even a period of time where Jane wasn't around, right? It was just kind of there.
Right.
She just shows up outside their house and looks at John and she's just like, oh, I'm sorry I was away. I had to stay away and I had to think about a lot of things, but I forgive you. It's okay. And he's like, man, and it's so fucked up because he's not even like, he's not even, he's not even sorry about killing her fucking brother because they got their asses beat by them way too much. But the way that he fucking said it, he was just like, yeah, I'm sorry about that. We had to do it, you know? Just the fucking way
Happens to the best of us.
Dude, what if that was the fucking line?
Bruh. Fuck. I would have understood.
Right? I realized you had to do it. Yeah, it happens to the best of us. Your brother was really hitting rock bottom there.
Dude. God damn.
I love that you had nothing. Because, I mean, yeah, I know. He really did go fucking splat, though. Jesus.
Fuck. It's a good-ass movie.
Yeah, so they go to bring Jim to the airport, and they get fucking ambushed by the Ninja Clan. And there's, like... So I do have to explain this. Like, there is... so spoilers abound for this end, because, like, there are a couple of things that I do need to explain. So if you don't want any spoilers, skip probably the next, 2-3 minutes. Jim gets fucking sliced way across the front of his body with a katana blade, like bloody murder screaming. Now, John and Mark are rage mode now. They fuck. This is the Ninja Clan that is coming to just fucking off them to get them out of the way so they can, deal their stupid cocaine. As the drummer said, he's like, I don't want to play at that club no more. Why not? Man, because Jeff's always there, and man, they're just throwing their stupid cocaine around. So these stupid cocaine ninjas come around and they start trying to wreck shop, and Mark and John just fucking lay waste to these bastards in this really weird, like, jungle-y looking area. And when I say blood flows, I mean, like, the water is turning red from the fucking blood.
Yeah. Which looked cool.
Yeah. So this all happens, right? And the guy that plays Yoshido is sitting, like, on this bridge somewhere, and the final ninja from the clan rolls up, and he's like, they're dead. They're all dead. And he fucking Yoshido just chops this dude's head off, and he's just like, like, I'll do it myself. Originally, you weren't going to see him again. The original ending of this movie is Jim dies.
Really?
They're taking him to the hospital in the car, and he dies in the car as they pull off the side of the road. And then they see the airplane that's carrying Jim's dad on it landing.
Fuck.
And they're like, oh God, that's Jim's father. And it fucking, like, fades to black. And it's a literal, just dark ending that did not go over well with test audiences.
Well, no.
And this is actually done on this release from Vinegar Syndrome. They actually put the Escape from Miami cut on there, which was the original title of this film. And it has that ending tacked onto it, not as a special feature, but cut in originally, and all the other sequences that were cut out.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you that to get to this part. So the guy that played Yoshido, okay, he had already left, and the co-director returned to Korea. So because they were advised to reshoot the ending, because when they did the Escape from Miami cut at the Cannes Film Festival, they were like, dude, no, that's such a downer. You got to reshoot the ending.
Well, yeah, it's such a fun film throughout until that.
Yeah. So YK Kim himself had to reshoot the ending, but because the guy that played Yoshido had already gone and wasn't available, they actually had to get somebody completely different. I think the dude's name was like William Urgile or something or whatever. And he had to play Yoshido, which it's very fucking obvious that it's cut in. If you know this information and you look at the end of the film, how it goes from them seeing Yoshido cut the guy's head off, and then it cuts to him running through the woods, and then it cuts to YK Kim jumping out of nowhere. Very slightly altered haircut. The dirt stains are not in the same spot. He's only slightly wet instead of soaking wet through his clothes like he was originally. He had to reshoot this fight sequence and add it in just so there could be a happy ending where he kills Yoshido using a technique that he was actually teaching John in one of the middle taekwondo sequences in the film. So they do that, and then they pick up where they're driving Jim to the hospital. And instead of John turning around to him saying, hey, like, hang on until we get to the hospital, because normally, like, right there's where they pull over and he dies in the car. Well, they just cut to the hospital, first of all.
Okay.
They're just sitting there waiting on him. His dad's sitting there with him. John's in different clothes. And they wheel him out. They wheel Jim out in a wheelchair. And they're like, oh, how you feeling? He's like, I'm still in a lot of pain, but, like, seeing my friends here and seeing my dad here, like, I know everything's going to be okay. And the fucking thoughts that I had during this, okay? The drummer's there. Tom is not. And I'm sitting there like, You ever seen Happy Gilmore?
Yeah.
Where were you on that one, dipshit? It's the first fucking thought I had. Like, where the fuck were you guys at? Like, we got fucking jumped by everybody and their fucking mother in ninja outfits. Where the fuck were you?
Not here.
And it's like, how did he even know to go to the goddamn hospital? You know what I'm saying? I mean, obviously payphones, I'm sure, but I'm sitting like, man, that was fucking fast. Anyway, that happens, but then the dad is sitting there and he's looking at Jim and he's like, or he's looking at YK Kim and he's like, I want to thank you guys for what you did, and all this other stuff. And, he's like, Jim is like my brother. I would do anything for him. And then they wheel Jim up and his dad looks down at him. He's like, Jim, you have really great friends and they care a lot about you. And now I care too. I'm like, bro, you
As
didn't fuck.
Opposed to a week ago.
You didn't give a fuck. Like, you left your kid at 8 years old and he's like, and now I care too. And I'm just like, spoken like a true deadbeat dad.
On God, on draft day too.
I'm telling you. Hey, my boy's number 52.
Hey, I love that kid, I mean, hey, let me tell you something about his first birthday party. What about the second one?
I'm talking about the first one.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Eventually.
Baby, what was his second birthday like? Y'all had the money for that shit? God damn.
Right. That is pretty much the end of the movie where like they're wheeling off down the hallway. Half the band and the dad, and then fucking nothing. Oh, wait, hold on. I realized that this quote was meant to be like a learning piece, but if you think about what I'm going to say, it's the quote that appears at the end of the movie. It says, only through the elimination of violence can we achieve world peace. And I'm like, bro, y'all just slaughtered all the fucking younglings. What the fuck are you talking about, bro?
What do you mean? Like, I appreciate the positivity, which makes sense because listen to the 2 songs that they had in this movie, but what do you mean?
I don't know. But yeah, that's Miami Connection from 1987. God damn it. Where do we go from here, man? I mean, these movies are both extremely charming in their own right. I mean, the fact that YK Kim even got this movie made and distributed at the time, which it only premiered and had a couple of things happen, but it got tape traded for a while and then it found its way over to the Alamo Draft House, which they did a re-release of it, but then it found its way to Vinegar Syndrome that did a proper 4K restoration and all this other shit with it. To think about how this movie has had its cult following for as long as it's had one. And the fact that New York Ninja just came out a couple of years ago and is already considered an instant cult classic, like a midnight movie. And the way that film came together, the way that Miami Connection was, put together, and, the music tie-ins with both of them. I mean, there's a lot of shit going for both movies here.
Yeah.
Like, given the history of both, given like the fact that you've seen them both, like I guess it more or less would just come down to like which one was the most, fun to watch, the most entertaining, like fascinating even. And that's just me, but like whatever you base your like pick on.
If we're talking about fascination, I would say New York Ninja just because of the story behind making it. Just as a movie though, like overall Miami Connection.
Yeah, me too. If I'm going on just that. And it's not even because it's been around longer and we've seen it more times, but the rewatchability of Miami Connection is really good. The plot is pretty fucking solid because there is a plot.
Right.
New York Ninja is not any less fascinating or any less good based on those criteria, but it's fucking great. Like, they're both fantastic watches.
Oh, yeah.
I think Miami Connection does kind of have that edge, though, as far as like the music just kind of fires on all cylinders. The action fires on all cylinders for me. YK Kim did a lot of the choreography with the fight stuff. Hell, a lot of the people that were fighting in the movie were his students.
Oh, wow. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's like, hey, y'all are learning with me. Want to be in a fucking movie? Fuck yeah, I want to be in a goddamn movie.
Yeah, I'd be in a fucking movie. Are you kidding me?
Hell yeah. I'd be like, yeah, fucking Grandmaster, kick the shit out of me in the balls. Like, beat my ass on camera, please. I guess that makes Miami Connection the winner on this Cult Cinema Showdown episode. Definitely check both of these movies out. We'll stick links in the description below if you want to go check them out at vinegarsyndrome.com to order them, or wherever you want to buy them from. There's several places you can get them from.
Yeah. But the box cover from Vinegar is really fucking cool.
Yeah, the dude designs is, I think that's his name or his company name or whatever, but he designed both of the posters for these movies, and that's actually the cover art that we're using on this episode. Like, you can look at him and be like, fuck, you can tell it's the same guy.
Oh yeah, it's a very distinct art style.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Visit supermediabrospodcast.com for past, present, and future episodes. Check out all the other shows on the OddPods Media Network by visiting oddpodsmedia.com. Subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on social media, buy the fucking merchandise. Leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, GoodPods, and Podchaser. Devin, do you know what next month means?
April.
Yeah, it's WrestleMania season, baby.
Boy.
Yeah.
We're like a week out now.
Yeah, so that means we have 2 WrestleMania episodes coming up for you guys back to back because we are going back to 1993 in our 30-year Time Machine series for WrestleMania 9 from Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas, Nevada.
I fucks with it.
Yeah, I do too. And after that, we'll be giving you guys our WrestleMania 39 review, which I'm looking forward to that one as well.
I am too.
And then for anybody that's into the Ninja Turtles, which if you're not into the fucking Ninja Turtles, like, shit, what's wrong with you? We're gonna talk about the 3 originals. When I say 3 originals, I'm talking like TMNT from 1990, the Secret of the Ooze from 1991, and then like the very divisive Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3. It was actually called Turtles in Time later on after the fact, but
what?
Yeah, it was called Turtles in Time like later on, like not the video game, but like the movie. Like it fucking got a subtitle like way after the fact.
What was the original?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3. I know, right? I don't know why they had to go back and like retcon that, but whatever.
Well, no, I'm just kind of, I don't know. Feels like my childhood was a lie.
Yeah, I know, right? But yeah, come along for the ride. That's going to be a giant nostalgia trip for you, for me, for literally anybody out there fucking listening. Please come check it out and hang out with us for those. Thank you guys for hanging out with us this week and, getting all ninja fucking throw star katana blade cocained out with us. There was no cocaine used here, and we're fucking sad about that. Otherwise,
yeah. No, never.
That wasn't powdered sugar on the donuts, was it?
I gotta go.
Where the fuck are you going? Devin. Yeah, thanks for hanging out with us this. Oh god, my hands are sweaty. I'm fucking shaking. Jesus fuck. Okay, this has been episode 268, Cult Cinema Showdown 104, New York Ninja versus Miami Connection. Oh my god, I'm fucking talking really fast. I gotta go. Like, fucking shades on later.